David Dobrik is reportedly facing even more legal trouble now after Jeff Wittek's excavator accident. In 2020, Jeff sustained several serious injuries after filming this stunt for David's vlog. So different members of the vlog squad swung around on this excavator, and when Jeff did, he crashed. At the time, David was controlling the excavator. This incident caused a massive rift in their friendship, and Jeff later sued David for general negligence and intentional tort, seeking $10 million in damages. Now, Ethan Klein for the H3 podcast has revealed that State Farm Insurance Company has filed a complaint against David related to the excavator accident.
It is shocking how far some influencers are willing to go just for attention and views on social media. Today we're diving into a situation involving David Dobrik, his assistant Natalie, and Jeff Wittek, a former member of the Vlog Squad. Back in 2020, these three took part in an extremely dangerous stunt that ultimately changed Jeff's life forever. And now, with the newly leaked documents from the lawsuit, things are looking even worse for David and Natalie. To start, let's rewind to June 2020. David Dobrik, who is known for his wild stunts and crazy vlogs, decided to take things a step too far with an excavator stunt. Jeff Wittek was tied to a rope hanging from the end of an excavator shovel, and guess who was behind the wheel? David himself. The goal was to spin Jeff around for a crazy video, but David ended up swinging him at an unsafe speed. And then, out of nowhere, David stopped the excavator, causing Jeff to slam into the side of the machine. Yo, the impact was devastating. Jeff ended up with severe injuries, and things only got worse from there. The whole thing was caught on camera, and David actually posted it on YouTube in April 2021. However, after facing tons of backlash, the video was quickly deleted. By then, the damage had already been done, and Jeff was left with a broken skull, facial fractures, and serious eye damage. He later spoke about his injuries in his podcast, Jeff FM, and yo, the details are heartbreaking. Jeff revealed that he had to undergo multiple surgeries to repair the damage to his face and skull. But what made it all worse was that David, according to Jeff, did not even check on him after the accident. In one episode of his podcast, Jeff opened up about his feelings towards David, saying, "I'll have lifelong brain injuries and I saved him from everything. He would have been deported, jailed for manslaughter, sued for everything. I took it on the chin." These are some heavy accusations, yo. Jeff is basically saying that he covered for David, taking on all the pain and suffering so David could walk away from this without facing the consequences. David, on the other hand, tried to defend himself on his own podcast, Views. He said, "The Jeff thing is the worst. That day is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. I would do anything to take that day back." He even added that he wished it had been him in Jeff's position, calling it a shitty accident and saying that it wasn't intentional. But here's the kicker. David also claimed that stunt was Jeff's idea. Now, I don't know about y'all, but it seems like David was trying to shift the blame instead of truly owning up to what happened. Despite David's apologies, Jeff wasn't having it. He decided to sue David in 2022 for $10 million, claiming general negligence and intentional tort.
$10 million is the amount that Jeff Wittek is now suing David Dobrik for.
Essentially, Jeff is saying that David's recklessness caused him to miss out on work and rack up hospital bills due to his severe injury. And honestly, can you blame him? Jeff has been through so much, and David's lack of accountability has been pretty shocking. According to People magazine, Jeff was seeking damages for everything he endured, and yo, the details are disturbing. David, in response to the lawsuit, asked the judge to dismiss the case. He claimed that Jeff knew exactly how risky the stunt was and that he couldn't be held responsible for what happened. This response, y'all, really rubbed people the wrong way. I mean, David wasn't the one undergoing all these surgeries, was he? But hold on, the tea gets hotter. Jeff later appeared on the Just Irish podcast, where he dropped even more bombshells, not just about David, but about Natalie too. Jeff claimed that David's entire motive with his videos was to make things fun when people got hurt. Jeff admitted that he agreed to get on the excavator, but he did not realize how reckless David was going to be. And honestly, anyone could have seen that spinning someone at that speed was not going to end well.
She used to say things to me, like she was so cold to me. She would be like, why do you need another surgery? Your eye looks fine. Like,
Oh my God.
Yo, you.
She's evil.
And she also said that I got on the crane to impress her because I had a crush on her. I'm like, yo, you people are delusional. Like, you got some followers because of David and the vlogs, but
She's the
you
worst.
you are not no fucking Miley Cyrus, you know?
Now, even though David was banned from YouTube after the incident, Jeff is still bothered by the fact that David continues to post and earn money from Snapchat. It's almost like David faced no real consequences, and that has been a huge point of frustration for Jeff. And then Jeff dropped another bombshell about Natalie. According to Jeff, Natalie actually forged his signature while he was bedridden after the accident. She apparently signed documents stating that Jeff was riding the crane voluntarily and that David had nothing to do with it.
I
But
got
wait till
frustrated.
trial when that comes up and it's a paper that is in Natalie's girly bubble handwriting. It's definitely
What's it
I
say?
write like chicken scratch.
Yeah.
So you know my signature. It looks terrible.
Oh, she forged your signature.
Yeah.
Actually.
And said that I was driving the crane. David had nothing to do with it.
I mean, that's like a serious crime to forge someone's signature.
I can't wait for trial.
I mean, that's actually wild. Have you talked about that?
Just with you right now.
Holy sh! That's wild. That's
Jeff also revealed that Natalie wasn't exactly supportive during his recovery. He said that while he was still going through surgeries, Natalie questioned why he even needed more surgery, making him feel like his eye was fine when it clearly wasn't. Jeff even accused Natalie of implying that he got on the crane to impress her, which is just, wow. That's some pretty narcissistic energy right there. It is clear that Natalie has been sticking by David throughout this whole ordeal, but her actions have raised some serious questions. Jeff made it clear that David's legal team has been trying to dismiss his lawsuit, claiming they don't owe him anything. And Natalie has been backing David up every step of the way. Now fast forward to the present, and this situation just took another dramatic turn. Earlier this month, some legal documents were leaked, revealing more about David and Natalie's defense strategy. According to these documents, David and Natalie admitted that they hadn't contributed to Jeff's medical treatment after initially helping with some of the costs. But their reasoning? They claimed that Jeff's subscriber count skyrocketed because of his involvement in the Vlog Squad stunts, and that was basically their compensation. Yo, they're saying that Jeff gained subscribers, so that should make up for his injuries and hospital bills. I mean, can you imagine? How do viewers and subscribers even begin to cover the costs of the intense surgeries Jeff has had to endure? In these leaked documents, David's legal team argued that Jeff wasn't technically employed by the Vlog Squad, which could potentially lead to the dismissal of Jeff's lawsuit. The public has had a lot to say about this too. One commenter wrote, "How does that change who is responsible for his injuries? Whether he was self-employed or not, David Dobrik almost killed him." Another added, "Jeff was compensated in exposure? Exposure doesn't pay medical bills, David." Exposure doesn't bring back his sight. Despite everything, Jeff continues to have public support, and honestly, it is hard to argue that what he went through wasn't completely unfair. He kept quiet about the incident for a long time, likely because he was trying to avoid making things worse. But once David started downplaying the situation, Jeff had no choice but to speak up. It is not looking good for David or Natalie as these legal documents continue to paint an ugly picture of how they've treated Jeff. What do you think about Natalie's involvement? Do you believe she's been covering for David, or is there more to the story? And what do you think David should face? And do you think David should face further consequences, like being banned from Snapchat, as Jeff suggested? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you stay tuned for more updates. Until next time, bye!